For years, success-minded people have been encouraged to achieve the life they want by setting goals, identify an end result, and then develop a plan to get there. The best goals leaders and bosses have been taught are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Thus, the business term SMART goals has been widely adopted. But according to neuroscientist Anne-Laure Le Cunff, this approach to goal setting is broken. The linear way of goal setting is wildly out of sync with the lives we live today. Le Cunff writes in her new book, Tiny Experiments, How to Live Freely in a Goal-Obsessed World. Instead of providing a motivating force, the idea of setting a well-defined goal is paralyzing. Le Cunff argues there's a better way, one that aligns with a quality all of us have, but that can be best seen in children, curiosity. By following that curiosity, you can begin finding new areas to explore that excite you, which can then lead you, not to a goal, but to a pact. Le Cunff defines a pact as an actionable commitment you will fulfill for a set period of time. She says a pact should follow a simple format. I will action for duration. The pact is the fundamental building block of personal experimentation, a self-invitation to try something new and learn from the experience, writes Le Cunff. A pact gives you the confidence to get started because there is no bad result or wrong choice. You just need to show up. While I still believe there's a place for traditional goals, I also think Le Cunff's advice is brilliant, and my story is proof positive that it works. Before I share that story, it'll help to know what makes a pact different from a goal, why pacts are so valuable, and how you can design your own pact. I know what you're thinking. Well, a pact just sounds like a type of goal. In a sense, you're right, but there are some meaningful differences. For one, a goal is often focused on an outcome, for example, acquiring 5,000 newsletter subscribers in the next 25 weeks. What makes a pact so effective, explains Le Cunff, is that it focuses on the process and output. In this example, instead of the goal, a pact would be publishing 25 newsletters in 25 weeks. In essence, the pact puts you in the driver's seat, putting you in control. Goals are often hopeful, based on wishful thinking. I'll do this, and hopefully this happens. A pact is more about discovery. I'll do this, and let's see what happens. And it's those discoveries, says Le Cunff, that can be truly life-changing. Part of the reason Le Cunff believes so strongly in pacts is because of the way her own story unfolded. After quickly climbing the corporate ladder at Google, Le Cunff found herself somewhere in between boredom and burnout. She quit and decided to build her own startup. But that company failed, and Le Cunff found herself feeling lost. As she admits in her book, there was no obvious next step. Interestingly, though, that feeling wasn't devastating. Rather, says Le Cunff, it was liberating. I started thinking about my in-between time not as a dead end to escape, but as a space worth exploring, she writes. And with that mindset, I quickly became reacquainted with an old friend and ally, curiosity. Le Cunff began freelancing to maintain an income, but she also followed her curiosity by paying attention to conversations that energized her, taking online courses, attending workshops, and reading for pleasure. I felt like my old self again, and I loved her, writes Le Cunff. I wasn't falling off a cliff. Rather, I was living in my own choose-your-own-adventure novel. Le Cunff's curiosity led her back to school to study neuroscience. That led her to a pact to write and share 100 articles in 100 workdays. That pact led to a community of readers that eventually topped 100,000. Interestingly, I had an experience similar to Le Cunff's. Several years ago, I committed myself to sharing 25 articles a month for 3 months in a row. I affectionately called it my sprint. It was during that sprint that I learned tons about the niche I wanted to fill, emotional intelligence for the real world. That was followed by a book, a new business, and my own community of millions of readers along the way. How can you design your own pact? Le Cunff has coined her own acronym, and says a pact should be purposeful, it should feel exciting and provide meaning through the learning journey itself. Actionable, it should be based on actions you can reliably perform, and be doable with your current resources. Continuous, it should be simply and repeatable, whether it's every day, every weekend, or every week. Trackable, it should be not measurable, but trackable with a simple question. Have you done it or not? Yes or no? Some examples from Le Cunff on pacts you can try, or that can inspire you to create your own. I will code every day for 100 days. I will write every weekday for the next 6 months. I will run every Sunday for the next 6 weeks. One more thing, if you're unsure of whether or not you can keep up with a pact, Le Cunff encourages you to think tiny. What's the smallest version of this experiment you can run? Doing so will allow you to maintain your pact on your worst days, in addition to your best days. That quite literally is it, according to Le Cunff. Beyond choosing a pact in genuine accord with your curiosity, you don't need to have anything else figured out, she writes. Each cycle of experimentation will be a chance to discover more about yourself and the world, to expand your skills and knowledge, and to iterate on your approach based on what you learn. The result is something extraordinary. Instead of chasing goals to achieve the life you think you want, these tiny experiments will help you discover the life you didn't know existed.